The year is 2026, and the world holds its breath. Welcome to this explainer, where we're diving into the absolute cataclysm of the 2026 World Cup. For one immortal icon, you see, this was never just a football tournament. This was the final, desperate dance of a king, carrying the shattered dreams, the hopes, and the heavy souls of 200 million people. The stage was set for glory with a heavily favored Brazilian squad, but destiny was hiding a brutal truth. We're going to break down the shocking 1-2 knockout loss to Norway that didn't just end a tournament run, it forced the tragic, immediate retirement of Neymar Jr. Let's unpack exactly how it all fell apart.
I tried. Now, it's over. I started here, I finished here. Those were his exact words, spoken through genuine, heavy tears after the final whistle at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. Just think about that for a second. August 2010. A young, electric kid makes his international debut and scores his very first goal under those exact same lights. 16 years later, he realizes the journey has come full circle. It's a remarkably poetic, yet completely devastating end to one of the most highly scrutinized careers in the history of sports.
Which brings us to part 1. The Norwegian machine strikes. The 2026 round of 16 upset.
For almost 80 minutes, it was a deadlocked, suffocating silence. Brazil walked onto that pitch as heavy favorites, expected to just dance their way into the quarterfinals. But under those floodlights, a ruthlessly disciplined Norwegian squad just soaked up the pressure. They systematically dismantled the magic. Then, 79th minute, the machine strikes. Erling Haaland cuts in front of his defender for a towering header. Brazil panics, throwing absolutely everything forward. And then, right at the 90-minute mark, the dagger. Haaland fires a thunderous shot from the edge of the box, right through the defender's legs to make it 2-0. It completely shattered Brazilian hopes. By the time Neymar converted his penalty in the 100th minute, the 90+10 mark, it was really just a desperate stoppage-time gasp.
You really have to understand the brutal transition of power we witnessed here. On one side, you have Erling Haaland. This match elevated him from superstar to absolute legend, tying him with Messi and Mbappe at 7 goals in the Golden Boot race. And on the other side, Brazil, suffering their earliest World Cup exit since 1990, and worse, cementing a tragic, historic curse, their 7th straight knockout loss to European opposition. The contrast between Haaland's clinical rise and Brazil's systemic European nightmare literally couldn't be sharper.
Moving on to our next section, a bittersweet final penalty, the 1-2 heartbreak. Picture the 100th minute, down 2-0. The entire stadium is practically choking on raw anxiety. Neymar, who only came on as a substitute in the 67th minute because of a lingering calf injury, steps into the light to cast his final spell. He uses that signature stutter step, completely sends the Norwegian keeper, Nyland, the wrong way, and slots a penalty right down the middle. Goal number 80. To really grasp the sheer magnitude of that individual brilliance, consider what this means. With that strike in his 130th appearance, he officially extended his record above the immortal Pelé as Brazil's all-time top male scorer. Even in his absolute darkest hour, with his body battered and his World Cup dream dying, he was still rewriting the history books of football.
Long before this blinding pressure, though, there was pure, unadulterated joy. We have to remember the magic he delivered across a legendary 16-year run. From that skinny boy debuting in 2010 to winning the 2013 Confederations Cup and securing that elusive Olympic gold in Rio in 2016, he joined Pelé as the only Brazilian man to score in 4 different World Cups. 80 goals, 59 assists, a dancer on the grass who carried the impossibly heavy souls of 200 million people on his back for over a decade, fighting through relentless, devastating injuries and immense national pressure just to give the world moments of high art on the pitch.
Let's transition to the aftermath in our next section, the tragedy of the beautiful game, global fan reactions.
But football is a cruel, merciless god. When that final whistle blew, sealing the 1-2 defeat, the image broadcast around the globe was cataclysmic. Neymar dropped heavily to his knees on the grass, covering his face with trembling hands in genuine tears, a man watching his ultimate dream slip away forever. Instantly, the online reaction was incredibly polarized. On one hand, you had deep mourning and sympathy, fans pointing out that, some dreams don't end with a trophy and that legends are remembered for more. But on the flip side, fierce criticism. Right after scoring that 100th minute penalty, down 2-0, Neymar reportedly grabbed the ball and taunted the Norwegian keeper, exchanging heated words. Critics blasted this as self-interested behavior, arguing he should have even received a second yellow card for it. It perfectly encapsulates the constant duality of how Neymar has always been perceived.
But amidst all the heated debates about his legacy, fans uncovered a shocking historical statistic that puts this heartbreak into a truly bizarre context. As one Reddit user pointed out, it's almost as if Norway is Brazil's natural enemy. And the data actually backs this up in a way that defies logic. Throughout their entire footballing history, Norway has miraculously never lost a match to Brazil. Following this World Cup upset, Norway maintained a flawless record, 2 wins, 2 draws, and 0 losses against the 5-time world champions. It is a historical anomaly that makes this tragic exit feel almost like destiny.
So, where does the team go from here? Let's move to our next section, the future of Brazil and Ancelotti's new cycle.
As the players walked off the pitch in New Jersey, the solemn reality set in. The Neymar era is officially over, and head coach Carlo Ancelotti is now steering them into a very daunting, immediate rebuilding phase. Ancelotti acknowledged the profound, bitter sadness felt by the players and the fans, but he was also completely pragmatic. "We are going to take this defeat and use it as fuel for the new cycle," he said. He made it crystal clear that they couldn't just sit in the grief. He's demanded a calculated, forward-looking reaction from his squad to honor the legacy of those departing.
So, what does that new cycle actually look like? Well, Ancelotti's specific action plan starts with emotionally managing the bitterness of the defeat. Second, preparing for a massive changing of the guard. Because it's not just Neymar retiring, Ancelotti noted they have to prepare for the departures of highly experienced veterans like Casemiro and Fabinho too. That means the absolute priority is discovering and integrating high-level young midfield talent. They have to replace a heartbroken golden generation and establish a solid new core group capable of carrying the immense weight of that famous yellow shirt.
Which brings us to the ultimate high-stakes question leaving this explainer. With their earliest exit since 1990, Brazil is now heading toward their longest spell without a World Cup title since they first won it. If they fail to win the next edition, they will have gone 28 years without becoming world champions by 2030. Can this new core, without the magic of the boy from Santos, finally break this looming curse? It's a heavy, lingering question to leave you with as we close the book on the tragic, beautiful, and absolutely unforgettable era of Neymar Jr.